Hey, okay, so I'm gonna multitask because this is gonna be the only point in which I have time to say anything. And no worries, I've got a car mount. I'm a safe driver. But I want to talk about a little bit more on when you're feeling in the moment as a parent. So let me roll these windows up real quick. So today, I will roll them back down. Yeah, I'll roll them back down in 5 minutes, okay? Okay, so no matter how great we're doing or we think we're doing, we're still going to have these things coming up for us. So I want to talk a little bit more about the parenting aspect and impatience. So today I actually feel impatience coming up in me again. And it's funny because the last, I don't know, week or two or whatever has been amazing. I haven't felt that way. I haven't felt any frustration at all, no impatience, which if you know me at all, or at least if you knew my situation, that's really rare, because I tend to be impatient all day with everything. It feels like to me. And so it's been a really great week or two, and I notice this coming up in myself again. So for one, I want to sort of take stock of what's going on for me today. Why is this coming up for me? I feel tired today. I woke up kind of early, and I have a lot going on today that I feel a little bit of pressure about getting it all done in time. And so that's part of it on my end. And I did not take the time to do my morning meditation this morning, like I've been trying to do. So I didn't start out from a centered, balanced place. So that's something to consider when we want to blame the child, like, well, they're acting this way, so of course I feel irritated. To also look inward at what's going on with us that's making us more easily triggered than other times. Secondly, we want to think about what's going on for the child, from a non-judgmental place. I know that my child was super tired yesterday because she took a super long nap, like way longer than normal, and did not want to wake up, and we basically had to wake her up because it was like dinner time. So she has something going on there, and she didn't get a lot of sleep last night at bedtime. So I can tell that she's extra tired today, and that allows me to sort of have a little bit of understanding from a parent's position that she's not going to be, how can I judge her for acting as though she's overtired when I'm more easily triggered because I'm overtired, so it makes it a little bit easier to find compassion there. And I also want to add about something that I'm using today to kind of get me through those moments. Not only just stepping back and trying to not respond to everything. If I were judging her behavior, I would say that she's being so whiny and like nothing pleases her, and like she won't pick an outfit and to wear, and she had to have a second tea, and then she says I don't want tea, and it's just like nothing is gonna please her today. Is kind of how it feels. So I kind of have to remember to step back and not judge that. She's struggling today, and so am I. And so it's a little bit easier to find compassion in that way. But something that I'm trying in the meantime of sort of stepping back and not responding to every single thing that maybe I'm feeling is a trigger for me today is using some mantras, just to sort of shift my awareness a little bit during the day. One that I've been using today, I'll kind of step away without really trying to engage. I'll take a deep breath and just repeat, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. And this sort of reminds us that we're light bodies, that we have this ability to see beyond our ego if we allow that into our space, and there are other mantras you can use, call them affirmations, even at a certain point where you're just, I am patient. Or another one I used earlier was, I am strong enough for this. I am strong enough. You can use Sanskrit if you want, but I think in these instances where we're trying to sort of retrain our minds a little bit, it's important to sometimes use English in words that we understand, or whatever your spoken language is, because you're trying to tell your mind something. Sanskrit is nice for a mantra that you just sort of understand in your meditations, but when you're trying to sort of retrain your neural pathways a little bit, talk to yourself in images and words that you clearly understand and that your subconscious will understand, so that it gets the message loud and clear, so I just wanted to share that a little bit, that even when you understand, even when things get better, things are still going to come up for you, because we're still human. And I think at certain points we get more diluted into the 3D than other times. And for me, I think the case of that is because I did not ground myself in the other dimensions as well this morning. I sort of woke up and went about the hustle of my day instead of taking the time to raise my awareness and my frequency. And so it's just important to be aware of all these things, that it's not, your child is not trying to irritate you. They're not trying to bug you. And if you have triggers coming up, in some ways that's probably something that you identify with, something you did as a child that you got in trouble for. And so deep down, you have a deep shame about that behavior, and you're enacting that discipline or that frustration that your parents had with you onto your own child. So it's sometimes that, sometimes it's just, you're not real grounded that day, and that's not your child's fault. And maybe your child isn't grounded that day or whatever. But that's not for us to judge whether they are or aren't. It's just for us to be the parental support, love, and understanding that they're going to need in that moment. And in doing so, at some point, we'll get that back in some way, even if it's just from a stranger on the street, and not necessarily our own children, because a lot of times they don't have the capacity for that sort of adult level empathy. They're not going to be understanding, well, mommy's having a bad day, I'm going to just chill today. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think that you'll get that understanding back in other ways, and you'll be able to see that light in someone the same way you would in a critical way. You can say, this is coming up for me because this is a disowned aspect of my shadow or whatever. You would also be able to see compassion and understanding in someone, because you could also resonate with that, in that that's something you see in yourself, that you are making an effort to be this light for others when difficult challenges are coming up for you. So I just want to say that I'm wishing all the parents out there a good day. That I hope that you're able to find some time for yourself, a chance to breathe, and to remember to stay balanced in sort of both the spiritual dimension and the 3D world, in this way that will allow you to have a lot of fun and let loose and be present in your moments, but also not so enmeshed in the 3D that you lose focus and get wrapped up in the illusion of what things are